number of Mulisks. He's going to try to go in for a harass here, but it's not going to work. There's just way too many spore colonies here. And now Xiaozi has to rethink and reconsider what he wants to do here. He could continue with Mutiling, or else he could decide to go for another expansion here. But Mutiling may not be effective against all these defenses. It would be less than cost effective. And actually, look at this. Level 1 spines are being upgraded at the evolution chamber for Satanic. So he's thinking of going Hydralisks, actually. We don't even see a Hydralisk den up yet, so he's deciding to go for that. Meanwhile, a lot of Overlords are just hanging around inside of Satanic's base, and Xiaozi's going to lose these Overlords. The first air units are out for Satanic here. He's got about 5 Mulisks here. His Queen's Nest is up. And I assume he's not going to get Queens because Queens are just as terrible in Zerg vs. Zerg as they are in any other combination. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it looks like spines are being upgraded. Really mysterious here. I guess he's going to go for some kind of strange Hydralisk, Hydras Devourer build is what I'm going to guess. And look at this. He's got a Hydralisk den going up right now. I haven't seen the game before. I do know the length. And I have to say, this is already mystifying play for me. This is very different from what we'd usually expect from Zerg vs. Zerg. And we'll have to see if the long GG play versus yellow game that I might cast later has similar kinds of builds. And I hope you guys watch both. It would be really interesting to compare the foreigner Zerg vs. Zerg and the Korean Zerg vs. Zerg. Although I think both are quite unique, though. They're not exactly standard examples of Zerg vs. Zerg in any league. GG play versus Yellows is probably the only one that goes so long in the Korean history of programming also. And this might be one of the longest in foreigner play. A lot of Mulis being produced for Xiaozi, and Xiaozi has actually decided to get +1 Carapace, which is quite good in Mulis versus Mulis combat. If you want to stick to Mulis versus Mulis, Carapace is more valuable than attack because of the bounce damage. It reduces each of the bounce damage by 1. Looks like he's going to try to go for it. No, looks like he was almost going for a spore break there, trying to kill off the spore colonies. Meanwhile, Hydras have been produced for Play.Satanik, and his hive is almost complete. Xiaozi going for Hydralisk Den also, and a Queen's Nest. So it looks like he's going to be thinking about going for Hive and some Hydralisk type units. And fourth hatchery going up for Satanic inside of his base. And Satanic has actually managed to come back quite well in this game, despite almost losing a lot of drones in the early game and really losing in terms of tech in the early game. He's actually now ahead in tech because of the early hatchery lead. And meanwhile, Xiaozi hasn't chosen to expand yet. He's chosen to commit all of his new resources into building his Mulisks. And look at this! Xiaozi's deciding to upgrade Lurkers here. Really interesting combination here. He's decided to go for Lurkers. I don't know if he's going to gas for this, but I guess he's assuming that Satanic is going to go for a lot of Cracklings after he gets Hive, and he's going to get some Lurkers to deal with this. So this is a unit you hardly ever see in Zerg vs. Zerg. This is the first time I'm seeing it, although I have a suspicion I might be seeing these types of units in the GG Play Yellow game also. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, and it looks like a lot of Hydras are out for Satanic here. Meanwhile, he's almost done morphing to a Greater Spire here, but he really doesn't have a lot of Mulisks. I assume what he's going to go for is Devourers, and a Devourer-Hydras combination in mass could be quite powerful against pure Mulisks. Usually the conventional wisdom is the reason why you go Mutiling inside of Zerg vs. Zerg is because Mutiling can gain themselves a local advantage in numbers very easily, as in they're both very fast and mobile, and they can pick off Hydralisks before they get into a large clump. However, Hydralisks in large numbers are more cost-effective than Mulisks and Zerglings. They can kill both quite easily, and here we already see a lot of Hydralisks being made for Xiaozi, I'm sorry, for Satanic here, and I believe they are speed upgraded, so a lot of Hydras plus Devourers could be a really good combination against Mutiling here, because the Devourers will put those acid spores on the Mulisks, and those acid spores will obviously make the Hydras attacks much more powerful. It looks like still more Zerglings from Xiaozi, surrounding area. Xiaozi's hive's also up, and looks like he's getting Lurkers, guys. He's gotten Lurkers built from his Hydras. It looks like he's not going to go for Hydras alone, but he is going to go for Lurkers. He's getting his Greater Spire, meanwhile. He's putting some Lurkers to protect his base against a mass Zergling attack, and meanwhile, he's put up an expansion finally at the 7 o'clock position. And he's got some Lurkers morphing on the ramp there. He's cleverly put Overlords all around the map, although I fear for the Overlords' lives. Against an air attack, he could be losing a lot of them if and when Satanic decides to move out. And Satanic has decided to move out here. His Hydralisks have +1/+1 here, so they're well upgraded. +1 Carapace, +1 Spines. And it seems that really, Satanic has been planning for this Hydra Zergling Devourer attack for quite a while. I mean, he had gotten those spines way before he went even for a den yet, so really interesting build for him. Meanwhile, only about 4 Lurkers and some Zerglings, 0/0 Zerglings defending for Xiaozi here. And Xiaozi's Mulisks are actually morphing. He's morphing some more Devours here. Meanwhile, this attack is about to commence here. But critically, there are no Overlords here. I don't see an Overlord for Satanik at all as he's about to go in for this attack here. And we'll see what he manages to do against these Lurkers. Looks like the attack is about to go in here. And these Lurkers are stop Lurkers, guys. These Lurkers are stop Lurkers. And he's starting Lurkers right now. He stopped the Lurkers, and now Xiaozi has unleashed the Lurkers. And they're just killing these Hydralisks. They're just massacring these Hydralisks. Hydralisk blood everywhere. Hydralisk skins everywhere. Amazing play here. It looks like all the Hydras are going down to these Lurkers. They can't attack these Lurkers. These 4 Lurkers have gotten so many kills off. And the entire army is wiped out here. All of Satanik's forces wiped out by Xiaozi, and Xiaozi finally committing with his Mulisks. He knew these Lurkers could stop them, and these Lurkers have stopped them without taking a single casualty. And meanwhile, Xiaozi has a huge advantage, 102 food to 65 food, and Xiaozi manages to wipe out all of Satanik's army there. Amazing play by Xiaozi by these stop Lurkers. Incredible play. Xiaozi, look at these kills here, 18, 3, 18, 9, and 10 kills from these Lurkers. So almost more than 40 kills here by these Lurkers. Absolutely amazing. 40 kills in total from Lurkers. He destroyed the entire Hydralisk and Zergling army there, and without suffering a single Lurker casualty. And this is because he stopped those Lurkers, and there wasn't a single Overlord nearby. And who could expect stop Lurkers in Zerg versus Zerg? It's really stop Lurkers are something you don't expect in Zerg versus Zerg. You know, like they say, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, no one expects stop Lurkers in ZvZ. No one expects Hydra Ling either, or Devours. I mean, Devours are a little more common. I have seen them before in Zerg vs. Zerg, but no one expects stop Lurkers. And certainly, unfortunately for Satanik didn't expect them, but looks like he might be going for attack at the 7 o'clock position. I wouldn't say he's out of the game yet, but he has suffered a lot. The one thing he has going for him is his economy, and the fact that he's gotten upgrades for his Hydralisks, and he's just pumping them out right now off of 4 hatcheries. Meanwhile, though, a lot of Guardians up for Xiaozi. That's what he was doing at this forward position here. Satanik is going to have to be forced to retreat if he wants to defend here. Perhaps he spotted all these the Guardians here. They're going to be going for the natural expansion of Satanik's base. And meanwhile, a lot of Zerglings, I assume these have been crack upgraded, 0/0 Zerglings though, but still very powerful, tearing down buildings, moving up for Xiaozi. Xiaozi's got a great army here, combined army of Guardians, Mulisks, Zerglings, and Devours against a smaller army of Satanics and just Hydralisks and some Devours. Meanwhile, the attack is going in here. Guardians are pounding away at the defensive structures, and they're going to start ripping through this natural expansion here. And actually, look at this. A lot of forces moving up, but they still haven't started to defend yet. I think what he's trying to do, I think what Satanik's trying to do is lead these Guardians into a trap. That's the only thing I can assume he's going to do. Look at this. He's moving his Hydras, not attack moving his Hydras into a flank position here. He's got a good concave on these Guardians. Meanwhile, the air units coming in here. Devour's coming in to kill off these Guardians. And a little bit slow here from Xiaozi and moving his Zerglings up to defend against these Hydras. And it looks like the Devours have picked off all the Guardians of Xiaozi. So back and forth game here. It looks like the Hydra's picking off all the Zerglings. So great defense there. Absolutely amazing defense by Satanik. My voice is already starting to die after a night of commentating from last night, and just 15 minutes into this game already, but it's been quite a game so far. Amazing defense by Satanik. So both players pulling off great defenses against their opponent's attacks. Only the Devourer survived for Xiaozi, but Xiaozi still has an economic advantage. But actually, no. 3 bases are up for Satanik also. I didn't see when he snuck in this new expansion at the inside 9 o'clock. So 3 bases versus 3 bases. This is a very close game right now. Looks like, wow, that was just a great defense. He just let the Guardians come in and then sent the Hydralisk on a flanking mission there. Great move there. And these Hydras are quite well upgraded, but the air units are upgraded for Xiaozi also. He's got +2 Carapace, and that's going to benefit him a lot in Mutalisk versus Mutalisk combat, and against Hydralisk too, of course. Meanwhile, look at this. Defilers and Ultralisks are up for Xiaozi. Xiaozi's going Ultralisk. He's getting a speed upgrade, and he's going +1/+1 for melee attack, melee ground Carapace, and he's getting Plague here at his Defiler's Mound. Really interesting play here. So we could be seeing a switch to ground units now for Xiaozi, and it seems like he has gotten a lot of Defilers. I would assume they're going to be for Dark Swarm and for Plague here. And of course, Plague is quite impressively powerful on all Zerg units, but they are so rare because at Zerg vs. Zerg, almost all games end at the lair level. Really, you don't see games going past lair ever because Mutaling, at least in Korean programming, is a standard, and it's almost the inviolable standard. You never see anyone going past it. it, because the game's always decided at that level. But Defilers are quite powerful, obviously, with combination of ground units, Zerglings, Ultralists, and Lurkers. So we could be seeing a Lurker Ling Defiler combination, or actually a Ling Ultra combination, Defiler combination from Xiaozi. Meanwhile, these 4 Lurkers are all that stands between Satanic and this entire expansion here at the 7 o'clock position. But it looks like he's not going to commit. He has an Overlord though, speed upgrade Overlord here. Looks like he's not going to commit for an attack.